Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So today I have the pleasure of bringing on my friend Shannon Hansen. She's a holistic wellness practitioner, and I want her to talk about nutrition. Of course, it's January. Everyone has their New Year's resolutions going, and they want to. A lot of people want to make those healthy lifestyle changes, yet they don't always necessarily know what to do. So I want to bring on my friend Shannon. So let me see about doing that. Oh no, draw in. Oh good Lord, I just want to tag her. And are you letting me tag? Invite friends, yep. Shannon, so hang on everybody as I try to get her on here. Invite has been sent. And Shannon's washing them, so let me bring them on camera. Hey! Hopefully this works sooner than later. You'd think all the times that I've done this, it would just be easy, and it never is. That's the downside of doing live stuff and seeing if it's gonna work. So it's blinking at me adding, so Shannon, I don't know if you can type a comment to see if it's allowing you to be added, or if you have to request.
Hey,
Hey, there she is.
I had to turn my phone and I knew that, but I was like, why isn't this working for me?
Oh, well, cool.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Bring my phone closer because I'm going to sit down.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so everybody, this is my friend Shannon Hansen.
Hello.
Oh,
I dropped you.
crash. Okay, Shannon, so I want you to introduce yourself and let everyone know what you do and kind of how you got started.
Yeah, so my name is Shannon Hansen. I am a certified holistic wellness practitioner. I graduated in 2015, specializing in nutrition and urban farming. I have kind of since gone on and specialized a little bit more in hair follicle analysis. And what I do with that is I use those hair follicles to gather information from each person, because as I was going to school, I really believed that each person was genetically and metabolically different. And so there wasn't a one size fits all. And I was kind of trying to figure out how each person was different, what made them different, and how could I best help them, meet their needs and all of that. And so as I worked kind of independently without that for, I think, close to 2 years. And I was like, I just don't love what I do. And then finally, when I invested in that at the beginning of last year, I just completely fell in love with helping people and customizing the plans and all of that to meet their needs. So anyways, that's a little bit about me.
Fun, awesome, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon, let's dive in because I have 5 questions that I want to ask you, and
right.
they each could be their own Facebook Live, but we're going to put it all into one. So this might be a longer Facebook Live, but let's put on our bootstraps and go. Okay. The first question. So first of all, I can't stand the word diet. I really dislike that word. And I have a lot of clients ask me, oh, Janice, what about the paleo diet? What about this keto diet? All these fads out there. And I hate, I want you to talk about the different diets and what you believe with the word diet.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to first start off by telling you a story. I recently met a guy, and he was like, and it was kind of over the phone. It was a realtor, and we were talking back and forth. And anyways, he was like, oh, you work from home? What do you do? And I started telling him, and he was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I have to tell you, I've lost 35 pounds in 2 months. And I was like, wow, that's great, And he's like, yeah, but you won't like what I'm doing. And I was like, well, what are you doing? That kind of piqued my interest. And he told me that he was doing keto. And he went on to tell me like all the feelings of deprivation and starvation and feeling deprived. And he told me from the get-go, he knew that wasn't going to be sustainable for him. And I was like, if you're open and willing, I'd love to talk to you about an alternative solution, because anytime you feel deprived, you're going to have the guilt and you're going to have the backlash, which leads to, the guilt, deprivation, and then binge eating, and then you gain all the weight back. So, diets don't work. Eating for a lifestyle is completely different than a diet. So if you're eating paleo because you're gluten-free and, you have celiac or something, that makes sense. You're eating, I personally, I know a lot of people are going to be commenting like, don't, what? Keto is the best. I'm not a big and that's okay. I've looked at the science, I've looked at the research, and I haven't seen there. I will preface this and say I have seen people do keto the right way, and I've seen people do keto the wrong way. Right. And I think there's some confusion there. So like women who are perimenopause or menopausal do better with a lower carb diet let me say this again. So high fat, low carb diet, because of how their hormones are working. That doesn't mean that they need to be eating keto. It just means they need to be monitoring the carbohydrates that they're taking in to help with, the hot flashes and all of the hormone changes that they're going through during that period of time. So I hate categorizing people into something, and we'll kind of get, I think, into my methodology a little bit later. But not a big fan of diets, more of a lifestyle. So again, it just kind of depends on each person if they choose to be vegan or vegetarian. Right. Per their lifestyle. That's not necessarily a diet.
Right, absolutely, because I think it's all about, it has to be sustainable. And if you feel like you can sustain it for the rest of your life, great. But yeah, something that lasts for a month or two, oh man, it's so hard. And I just want to give a shout out to Pat. She's on. Thank you. And Kelly, thanks for joining. Yay. Okay, so let's talk sugar and what can you do to potentially break some of those sugar cravings? Because we all have them and they drive us crazy. And so what can we do to beat some of these sugar cravings?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I offer a free 5-day challenge to help you kick your sugar cravings. And included in that is a meal plan and the recipe guide for that, which when we get off of here, I'm going to put the link in the comments so you guys can go download that and get access to that. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 tips today, and hopefully we can kind of breeze through these so we can get on to some of the other things. So tip number 1 is stop fluctuating your insulin levels. So when you wake up in the morning, you want to start off with a high protein breakfast, because that's going to help stabilize those blood sugar levels all day long. The first thing that you're putting in your body is going to dictate how your day is. And I've had lots of people tell me, I eat so much better when I eat eggs for breakfast. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a higher protein breakfast with some fats in there that's going to help keep you full and stabilize those blood sugar levels, versus eating a bowl of cereal, which is all carbohydrates, and right from the beginning spiking those insulin levels. The second thing is, when you're eating carbohydrates, you want to pair it with a fat. So even if you're eating like an apple is great, but if you pair it with some almond butter or some nuts or some, rolled up turkey strips or something, it's going to balance out the sugar, the natural sugar in the apple, and help not spike those insulin levels, again, causing those cravings. A big one for a lot of people is planning out their day. And not just kind of
winging it.
Yes, that's a great word. Having some kind of plan. And I had all my notes right here and I clicked something wrong. Okay. Because when we plan things, it's kind of like when we don't plan, things just kind of fly out the window and it's easy to get distracted and stuff. And so there's a lot of different methods of meal planning or meal prepping to fit individual lifestyles. And again, that's something that I teach. There's kind of 3 different tiers, ranging from prepping everything. So all you have to do is go to your fridge and heat it up, down to just washing your produce and having it in the fridge ready to be able to eat and consume, you know, to quickly make a salad or to quickly grab a snack or something like that. So there's kind of different tiers with that. And finding what works for you is going to be best. The next thing that I have for you guys, and if you guys are live, why don't you write these in the comments so people can come back to them. So 1 is stop fluctuating and start balancing. Number 2 is start combining. 3 is plan your day. And number 4 is make a list. I know I went through those really fast, but so make a list. Make a list of why you want to quit your sugar addiction. You know, what is that going to give you to break that relationship? Is it going to give you a healthier body? Is it going to help you lean out? Is it going to help you stop feeling stressed? And is it going, I mean, there's a lot of emotional stuff that is tied to sugar. So make a list of that and you can revisit it, put it in places that you can constantly view it, maybe put it on your fridge, you know, whatever. The next thing is address underlying health issues. So people with chronic sugar addiction or sugar cravings could have things like stress, adrenal fatigue, yeast overgrowth, thyroid issues, and unbalanced hormones. All of that can cause you to crave sugar, and it's more than just willpower. You know, let's just power through this. That doesn't always work.
Right.
The next thing, so number 6 is take a multivitamin or a mineral supplement. So if you're craving chocolates, it could be a sign that you're deficient in magnesium, or if you're craving like oatmeal cookies, that could be a sign of needing chromium. So, you know, each person is going to be a little bit different, and look at what you're craving and what your body's needing and what it's trying to tell you. Number 7 is get a good sleep. This is really important because we don't have time to go into all this,
I know.
but I'm trying to go super fast, and maybe I'll just slow down and we'll just kind of see how it goes. But getting a good sleep is also very important. So if you're having problems falling asleep in the middle of like going to sleep before 10, 11, 12, that could be a sign that you have adrenal fatigue or chronic stress in your life. If you're waking up between 1 and 4, that could be a really strong indication that your liver is not functioning properly, and you need to support your liver, because that's when our body is detoxifying itself. So if it's not working, it's going to wake you up and you're going to feel like, why can't I go back to sleep? Why can I not stay asleep? Yeah. The next thing is going to be avoid your triggers. So if you're triggered by staying up late, watching TV, going out with friends, I mean, even try to avoid those things. Obviously, we want to go out with our friends and have a social life, but maybe try something different. Say, hey, let's go for a hike. Let's go walk around this block instead of going to Starbucks, instead of going to a sit-down restaurant. Try to replace some of those habits that trigger you. Number 9, which we actually just talked about, is doing something else. So replacing that behavior. So I guess we can combine 8 and 9. And the last one is get support from someone. Find a friend, find a colleague, find an accountability partner, find Janice, find me, find someone that can keep you accountable to this in a loving and gentle way, because we all have enough guilt. So that's what I got for that.
Perfect. Okay, so how do you help clients with emotional eating? Because emotional eating is such a huge thing when it comes to trying to lose weight. And people just, of course, we all love food. However, a lot of people don't realize how attached to food they really are. So
Yeah.
how do you help people realize that they are emotional eating, and how do you coach them through that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. You know, all of my programs, we try to bring in mindful eating and understanding emotional eating, but you really don't get the most out of it until you work with someone one-on-one who understands emotional eating, because each person is going to be triggered by different things. It could be a certain time of the day. It could be a person in your life. I was just had a client here a couple of weeks ago, and she came in and was telling me this story. And well, first off, she said, one of the best things that has happened to me since working with you is the emotional aspect. I have been, I've had personal trainers, I've, done healthy eating challenges, I've done all of these different things. And it wasn't until I invested in a one-to-one coach to help me identify what my triggers really were. And I was like, oh, that's so great. Like that kind of gave me the warm fuzzies, but really she's the one that's doing the work. It's not me,
and the coaching, and you get to have, you just the support. I mean, that's what I do with clients. They do all the work. I just give them the coaching to go along with it.
Yeah. The tools. Yep. So anyway, she proceeded to tell me, it was the holidays, and there was a certain person that came into the room, and there was, chips on the table in front of her, and she just found herself like eating them,
Oh, no.
And she said it took her a couple minutes, but she realized what was happening, and she noticed it was that person that was triggering her. And so she got up and she left the room and removed herself from that situation. So the tips that I have for emotional eating is first recognition. That's going to be so important, is recognizing what your triggers are, and understanding that we are all emotional eaters. It just looks different for each person. Each person struggles with it on a different level. The next thing is we need to allow ourselves to feel that emotion. If we bury it, if we suppress it, then it's gonna trigger us anytime, anywhere, and you're gonna fall off the wagon. So allow yourself to feel anger and hurt and frustration and overwhelm and annoyance and whatever. So the technique that I teach is a journaling technique. I actually teach another rapid release technique that is really kind of powerful, but we just kind of don't have time and stuff right now. But and it's kind of individualized for each person. Like I kind of need to see how they do it and stuff. But the feedback that I've gotten with that is people like it because they can do it in a public place and nobody knows. You're not like, doing like weird, standing on your head. Yes. You're not tapping or anything like that. You're being able to do this kind of quietly and discreetly without people noticing. And it takes less than 8 seconds, which is even,
nice.
Yes, it's even more phenomenal that it works that fast.
And I will say, real quick, Shannon, and for those of you who love tapping, I'm just using it as an example. I'm not making fun of it because it does work. So I don't want to see all these negative comments of me because they felt I was making fun of tapping. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Tapping is great. I have a lot of people that can do that, but it's one of those things where everybody that I've talked to, if they have to do that in a place, they're like, I have to go to the bathroom, and go do it in a stall.
Right.
So.
Okay. So the last one before we get to all your services is, is it better to count calories or is it better to count the macros?
Calories versus macros. Such a fun question. All right. So my belief is food is made up of macros, protein, carbs, and fats. And then from there, it breaks down into micronutrients. So that's your vitamins, your minerals, omega fatty acids, proteins, all of that. And it's important for us to have a wide range of those micronutrients. So counting calories can be good if you're getting a variety of things and getting all those micronutrients. Macronutrients is also good if you're getting a wide range of all of that. So my methodology kind of combines both of them in the sense of learning proper portion control, proper portion sizing. You guys are not going to be able to see this, but this is an individual or a personalized nutrition plan based off your age, your weight, your activity levels, all of that. Excuse me. And it breaks everything down and gives you guidelines for like the calories. I'll hold this up in a second. The calories and then also the portion sizes. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. So this first column tells you, maybe I'll take a picture and you guys can kind of look at it a little bit better. So the first one is the food category. So for breakfast, this person is, I think this one is roughly 800 calories a day. So they would eat a fruit, a protein, and a carb. So they would get one portion of each. Nope, this is the 1200 calorie one. So what a carb looks like, or what the fruit looks like, is about 14 grams of carbohydrates. So that could be your apple, your banana, orange, grapefruit, half a grapefruit. And then the protein is about 25 grams of protein and 5 grams of fat is what like a good protein would be. And then a carbohydrate would be 5 grams carbohydrates to 3 grams of protein. So really, this sounds really confusing, but if you're just looking at it as, okay, I need one fruit, one protein, one carbohydrate, it would look like an apple, 2 eggs, and then like an oatmeal or a piece of toast or something like that. So that's a really good, healthy, well-rounded breakfast for someone. And that would essentially be about 290 calories. And again, this is going to depend on like activity levels. Most of the people that I work with don't fall into the 1200 calorie range. Most of them are about 14 to 1500 calories. And it's amazing because they're like, I'm eating more food than I have forever and I'm losing weight, you know? So.
But people don't realize 1,500 calories or 2,000 calories of McDonald's fast food type food versus 1,500 to 2,000 calories of lean meats, fruits and vegetables, and eating that way. 2 totally different things on how your body responds to the quality of food that you put into it.
Yeah.
So it's a tough question. Does calories matter? Well, sure they matter, but it's the quality of the calories that matter, just not the number attached to the food.
Yep. Yep. And with this program, I mean, I kind of went through what I said, but some of the other pieces is we're learning how to read nutritional labels. So we know what it's saying, what it means. And then we're also learning about how to swap out food. So we're learning how we can have our cake and our cookies and, you know, our chocolate and our wine and all of that. And it's amazing how they're like, I don't feel deprived because I can still choose to have that cake after dinner, or I can still choose to have, you know, that glass of wine with my dinner and have energy and feel good, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So for me, it's more about learning proper portion sizes to fit your activity levels, your lifestyle, and your goals overall. So.
Awesome. Well, Shannon, tell everybody about the different services that you provide. I will say Shannon is in Arizona. However, she does do virtual stuff as well. So you don't have to live in Arizona to be one of her clients. So I will turn it over to you, Shannon.
Thank you. So we talked about the hair analysis. I have a Jumpstart program that is a short 6-week program that helps you do exactly that. It helps you to get really fast results while you're not feeling deprived. You know, I've laid out the menu. I've laid out the recipes, and I've given you all these additional tools to learn each week. We just started that today, and I have had a little bit of interest, so I'm kind of playing with the idea of maybe opening up a second group for people who have missed the deadline, or any of the viewers and followers today. So if you guys are interested, please let me know ASAP on that one. The second one that I offer is private coaching. And then later in February, we'll be opening our Balance and Vitality program. That one is a 12-week program, and it's designed to rebuild your body. So if there are any imbalances in your bodies, whether it be hormone, thyroid function, adrenal fatigue, all of that is kind of put in there, and it helps you figure out how to restore your body quickly, safely, and easily without taking a whole bunch of supplements, without having to do all these different things. You already have to eat, you already have to buy food. It's just learning how to change that and finding foods that actually nourish your body and restore your body.
Cool. So, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so in the comments, put your phone number to reach you, email, or however you would like people to get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Comment below if you want to talk with Shannon some more, or you can direct message her. But yeah, so we'll definitely be providing her information on how to get in touch with her.
Yeah.
So Shannon, thank you so much. I really appreciate you answering all of these questions today, and we'll have to do this again. Yeah,
we just shoved it all in a really short, and I talked really fast and we got through a lot of it. The one thing that I wanted to add too, I'm going to be putting in the comments below a link so that you guys can book a free nutrition SOS call with me. It's going to be a 1-hour call. And you guys, we can talk about where you're at, if we're a good fit to work together, or I have a whole network of people that I work with. So if I can't help you, I can refer you out to someone else that definitely can. So awesome. Yes. Yay. Thank you. Well, thank you, Shannon, and we will talk soon. Yes, it was good to see you. Good to see you too. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Yep. Bye.